Here's another food-based legal scenario that you might want to think about. If you were at a drive-through and the server gave you the wrong food, i.e. not your order, a larger order, lots of different food that you didn't order, and it's quite clear that it wasn't your food. If you drove away with it and ate it, would you consider that to be dishonest? This is quite a genuine and valid question because I saw a video just recently where someone did exactly this. Only his comments in the video were that it's not my fault, you gave me the wrong food, so yes, I ate it. Well, my take on this as a barrister is that that's dishonest, because dishonesty is that which an ordinary, reasonable and honest person would consider to be dishonest. And in my view, the objective standpoint of what an ordinary, reasonable and honest person would think is that that's dishonest because it's not your food. If you're given food that you didn't pay for, then you shouldn't be eating it. In my view, an ordinary, reasonable and honest person would be giving that food back to the server and say, I'm very sorry, but you've given me the wrong order. This clearly belongs to somebody else. I ordered X instead of this. Now, questions of dishonesty come up very often when it comes to restaurants and food and takeaways and things of this nature, because when you sit down, if the presumption is that you're going to pay for the food at the end of the meal, if you're halfway through it and you just don't like the food, then it isn't really feasible to say that you've attempted to steal it. Unless, of course, there's a pattern of behaviour or something else that can prove that you had that intention in the first place. However, given this scenario with the drive-through order where they clearly hadn't paid for the food that they were given, in my view, that is quite clearly and unambiguously dishonest. So I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever been given the wrong food at a drive-through and what did you do with it? It actually reminds me of a comical scene when I once went to a drive-through. I won't say which one, but suffice to say they didn't give me part of the order. Part of the order was missing. But we only realised this when we got out of the drive-through section. We were in the car park, we pulled up, we were checking whether everything was in the order. Quite clearly it wasn't, there was something missing. We drove back around and I said, hi, me again. I said, you've missed out, whatever it was, the chips or something, whatever it was they missed out. The lady quite comically said, I can't give you anything else, you'll have to pay for it because it's considered theft. And I said, well, actually, no, it isn't because I've paid for it, but you haven't given it to me. There might be a dispute as to whether or not you gave it to me, but it's certainly not theft from my point of view because I'm not dishonestly appropriating anything. Nonetheless, she wasn't having any of it, refused to get the manager, so I had to pull up and go in and say, I'm very sorry, I don't want to make a meal of this, pun intended, but it's just a bag of chips and it wasn't with the meal that we just ordered. The manager was quite happy to just give me the bag of chips and on we went. Now, I'm very well aware that many people might abuse this process and go in for free food. Make no mistake, that would be dishonest. But me going in after a genuine mix-up by the server, not giving me the chips, then that was their completely honest mistake. But had the reverse been true and they'd given me lots of food that I didn't pay for, that would, in my view, quite clearly be dishonest. So as always, I'm interested in your views in the comments, but also please make sure you hit subscribe because we are on Easy Chinese Cooking, again, my dear wife's channel, because whenever I come across an idea where law and food coincide, we find ourselves back on this channel. So make sure you subscribe because we do lots of different dishes on here that we genuinely cook at home, which are genuinely Chinese inspired, sometimes infused with other styles around the world, and of course my taste for traditional English food. So make sure you subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you next time.